Okay, so I want to try something different. This will be a good way to kind of test out the screen recording on my setup here. And I also want to do a tier video, and you all have been seeing these around a lot lately. And I just wanted to give a crack at one myself. After a couple days of thinking, I figure something that I could probably do a pretty decent tier video on is the Street Fighter series. So I'm gonna be ranking all of the regular Street Fighter games in a tier, and just the regular ones. I'm not doing any crossovers or anything like that, or any weird shit like Mouse Generation. Just like the regular, anything with just Street Fighter in the name and like nothing else. It'll make sense whenever we go through. Also, I'm not gonna do every single port. I'm only going to add a port if I feel like there's something of interest in it, something that I find that's interesting in it, or something that's like a significant difference that's worth talking about. Same thing goes with the compilations or any collections. Not every compilation collection is going to be on here, only if there's something on there that I find is interesting. So let's go ahead and try to crack this thing open real quick. Da-da-da. Okay, let's go ahead and start that. Okay, so the way I have it set up, this just the basic tier thing, except for on the bottom I have unranked right there, because there are like one or two games that I have not played yet. So if I haven't played them, I can't really, rank them, but it's something to add to the backlog. So I'm going to try to go in chronological order here as best I can. Also, I have a couple of notes here because there was some interesting little things between these versions and games that I did not know what existed in it. So that also will kind of help to explain why some going where they are in the tier list and some aren't. Alright, so let's see what I got here. Let's see if I can find. Okay, so Street Fighter 1. This is Street Fighter 1 right here. You gotta fucking start somewhere. For the longest time, when people were talking about Street Fighter, and they were saying, "Oh, let's go play some fucking Street Fighter." They were thinking about Street Fighter 2 back in the day, but nobody ever thought, well, what about Street Fighter 1? This shit is why nobody's really talking about Street Fighter 1. I mean, as people know more about it today because it's been like re-released on some current shit. But Street Fighter 1, it's a rough ass game, dude. Like, the inputs are not at all what they are today. The damage scaling is ridiculous. Like, if you can land like a Shoryuken that can one-shot just about anybody in the game, is a quarter muncher. Gaiden 8 on at the end will fucking wreck your shit. It's important because without that there would be no other Street Fighters, obviously, but it's a D. It's a D. Yeah. I wouldn't even call it okay. It's just too fucking rough to really give it that distinction of. I'm almost tempted to put on a fucking F tier. I'll hold it D for now. I'll see how the list shakes up, but I may add an F tier just for, you know what? How do I do that shit? No. Oh god. Somebody hasn't been doing this before. Okay, yeah, cool. Alright, so that's that right there. Okay, so now we're gonna go on to Street Fighter 2. Where the fuck is it? Street Fighter 2, I mean, what can you really say about this shit is it pretty much, I wouldn't say it made the fighting game genre. There was fighting games before it, you know, ER, Kung Fu, and all that kind of shit, but, like, fighting games would not be what it is today without this. It is just a monumental pillar of the genre, and just in video games in general. The thing is, though, it's like vanilla Street Fighter 2, and while it is a hallmark of the genre, there's just so much shit that came after it that's like built on and improved upon it. So in terms of just like the overall picture, it's gotta be a C, because I feel like Street Fighter 2 is your baseline. Like, you're okay if you're as good as Street Fighter 2 vanilla, you know? So yeah, that's going right there. Okay, now we got Champion Edition. Champion Edition adds the 4 boss characters, adds the Grandmasters, Heavenly Kings of Shadow Blue, Shitano, or whatever country you live in, their names are going to be different. You know, Balrog, Boxer, Vega, Claw, Bison, Dictator, you know, Sagat, no matter where you go. All 4 of those guys are in there. Second colors, I think you can fight as the same person in this version. Yeah, so it just adds characters, more content. I'm gonna say it's a C2, just for the simple fact that gameplay wise, I don't think too much has changed, at least like from what I can remember. All that's really added is the boss characters and second color palettes for all the characters, and yeah, you can fight as the same character as this one. I feel like it's just yeah, that's fine where it's at. Okay, that leads us to Turbo. I can't remember if moves are added to this one. It just bumps up the speed in it. Yeah, that's a C too. Like, fuck. I don't know. Well, nah, it's a B, because speed does make a difference. It does. Because when you go to vanilla and champion, and you coming in out like from turbo, is just, once you get used to the speed, it's kind of hard to go back. I think that's like a significant enough thing to at least bump it up to B, but not anything to really like put it up in A or anything like that. Okay, so next we have, where is it? It's gotta be around here somewhere. Damn, these thumbnails are so fucking small. Okay, Super Street Fighter 2. This is where you start seeing some shit here. Once again, classic characters are at it. DJ, Fei Long, Cammy, T-Hawk. Just everything is refined, you know. It's the first, gosh, how can I put this? This is when you start to hit your peak as far as, you know, Street Fighter 2 is concerned. You're starting to hit that peak, you know. So that's definitely just because of, you know, how it plays, what's the characters, not a characters added to it, just general improvements overall. I'm gonna put this bad boy up at, damn, I just had that thing. Yeah, that's definitely an A tier for sure. For sure. There's enough improvements overall to put it over the top over Turbo, I think. Okay, and now we have, well, before we start getting into Turbo, we have Rainbow Edition, or Koryu, which is a bootleg version of Street Fighter Champion Edition, where you can morph into other characters and, like, hit a shit ton of Hadoukens just by throwing a Shoryu wall of Hados, fucking tracking sonic booms. Is character sliding and warping. This shit's really crazy. Definitely worth a YouTube video to check this out if you have not seen it. It's, at the end of the day, it's just a fucking ROM hack of Champion Edition. It's because it's not a bad game, it's super fucking unbalanced for sure. Fuck. Yeah, I'm a C tier that one, because I mean, without like the crazy fucking ROM hacks, which could be a boon or a blessing depending on what type of person you are. Like, that shit can be really divisive. Yeah, I think that's fine at C. I might change it. I don't know. We'll just keep it at C. Alright, so back on the regular Street Fighter 2 train. We have the magnum opus of Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2 Turbo. So all the shit that you got in Super, now you got this Turbo fight, the speed, and first appearance of Akuma, pivotal character in the lore. Tournaments are still being played in the modern era of this. It still shows up, I think, it's side tournaments and Evo. It's like, there's not really much to say about it. It's just, it is the ultimate regular version of Super Street Fighter 2. So that's definitely getting in fucking S tier. Might need to zoom out on this thing. Okay, that's a bit better. Alright. So now let's get into some interesting parts of Street Fighter 2. So first, where is it? Got the, where is it? The Game Boy version of Street Fighter 2. Now the only reason why I added this on there, why I thought it was interesting, because one, you know, it's the first portable version of Street Fighter 2 that you could get that wasn't a fucking Tiger handheld. And also, the roster on it is super weird. Like, it's a mishmash between champion and regular. Like, so you got Ken, you got Ken, Ryu, Balrog, Guile, Chun-Li, and Eve, and then you have Bison, Balrog, and Sagat. So there is no Honda. Look at this, yeah, no Honda, no Dhalsim, no Vega. It's just a fucking weird ass port, but it's, I mean, portable Street Fighter is what they had at the time. But it's a fucking 2-button. Yeah, that's a D. It's a novelty, but yeah, it's fucking D. Now we have Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo Revival. Now this one's interesting because pull out my notes here. Akuma and Shin Akuma are playable in this. Like I think it might have been the first version of Super Street Fighter 2 where you could play as both of them. Other than that, remix stages, I think remix soundtrack, got some Udon artwork in there. And it's on the GBA, so it's gonna be a much more powerful, prettier looking portable than what you got with fucking Game Boy. And you got shoulder buttons, so at least it's not as, rough to control. Yeah, it's a V. It's fucking Super Turbo. It's fucking Super Turbo, man. Okay, what next? What's next? Oh, okay, yeah. Street Fighter 2 HD Remix. Once again, Super Turbo, but this time with all the sprites redrawn by Udon. Also, there's some unique moves that you only get in this version, like Ryu's fake Hadouken, stuff like that. It's interesting. Yeah, I feel like that's a B. While the unique moves are interesting, I don't feel like that puts it over some of the other games on this list. I might move it later. I don't fucking know. Ultra Street Fighter 2 Final Challengers. Yeah, so you got Evil Ryu in here, Violent Ken, playable outside of SVC Chaos for the first time. Shin Akuma is in here. He is also playable via code. You got Tech Throwing. That's in there. The new moves that they put in from HD Remix are gone. Yeah, also probably should have mentioned that this is kind of a port of HD Remix. The Udon graphics are there, but you can also switch to the classic Street Fighter 2 graphics and sounds. So yeah, I feel like that's an A tier just because it's just because of what's added. Once again, it's just a straight up fucking port. I mean, man, it's just fucking Super Turbo, dude. You're gonna hear me say that a lot in this video. Okay, so just cutting in to add some features that I forgot. Ultra Street Fighter 2 has a couple of extra modes that I need to mention. First is Buddy Battle, which is a dramatic battle style mode for this game. Its main difference is that if you lose one round, it's game over. Second is The Way of the Hado, a mini-game where you play as Ryu throwing special moves at Shadow Loop runs using Joy-Con motion controls in the graphical style of Street Fighter 4. It's as fun as it sounds. What else we got? I think that's all for the Street Fighter 2s. Before we get into Alpha, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Street Fighter the movie arcade version. This one's kind of like fucking Rainbow Edition, where there is some jank in this shit, and then of course the digitized actors from the 90s, the Van Damme movie. So Jean-Claude's in there, Raul Julia there. Well, it's not technically Raul Julia because unfortunately he passed away when they were making the game, so they have a stunt double filling in for Bison. But yeah, all the people in the cast are in there, except for Blanca. But you got a couple of generic ass Bison troopers thrown in there, and Akuma, who was not in the film. Yeah, man, it's a fucking jank ass game. Combos are crazy and all over the place. It's busted. Balrog can reflect projectiles by fucking blocking. And you got Slam Master, and then, all the fucking sounds. Yeah, man. Other than just like the novelty of it, yeah, I can't in good conscience put that in the same tier as fucking Street Fighter 2. The regular Street Fighter 2, that's gotta go in D. Now, we have Street Fighter the movie, the home version, from PS1, Sega Saturn. It's got a cool fucking name in Japan. Street Fighter, Real Battle on Film. Now this one is different in that it takes out all the crazy jank shit in there, removes the Bison Troopers, and puts back in Blanca and DJ, and they basically just Capcom Japan took it, retooled it, and basically just made Super Turbo with the digitized actors. Once again, it's just fucking Super Turbo. It's a novelty, if you run across it, like for $20 or so somewhere, it's worth picking up just for shits and giggles, or you're just totally fine not ever touching it. It's just one of those things, because it really is just Super Turbo, and if you're gonna play Super Turbo, there's better versions of Super Turbo. Yeah, that's gonna be a D. It's just, I can't in good faith put that in the same fucking ranking as damn OG Street Fighter 2. I just can't. Okay, so that's over and done with. Let's go and do Alpha. Okay, OG Street Fighter Alpha. The Alpha series is probably my favorite section of Street Fighter. As far as, Alpha 1, chain combos basically lifted from Darkstalkers. Pretty good roster. This is when you start seeing Final Fight characters come in. But compared to the other Alpha games in there, is lacking, other than just aesthetics. So I'm gonna put that one in B tier. It's definitely worth playing, but there's the other Alpha games just outshine it completely. Which brings us to Street Fighter Alpha 2. Now, I didn't know people Alpha 2 was as big as it was in terms of the competitive scene, because pretty much all this time I was thinking that fucking Alpha 3 that was everybody's go-to for competitive Street Fighter Alpha, but I was wrong, man. And there's debates, eternal debates over what's better, Alpha 3 or Alpha 2. This isn't gonna be that video. Might do a video on that at a later date. As far as what it does differently, got your custom combos, and then of course Zangief gets added to the roster, Rolento, Gin, Dalsim, and it's the first appearance of Sakura. And once again, a staple of the Street Fighter series. Kind of hard to believe it took that long to get her in there, but that's how shit rolls sometimes. But yeah, first appearance of Sakura, much better than Alpha 1. Yeah, that's an A tier. That's an A tier for me. It's fucking good, solid. Okay, how am I going to do this? Yeah, fuck it, it's in there. I'll just put in. So now you got Street Fighter Alpha 2 Gold. Gold is weird because there is no standalone version of Alpha 2 Gold, at least in the States. I think there might have been some arcade machines over in Japan that had Gold running on it. As far as Alpha 2 Gold, minor changes, minor graphical changes, probably. The most prominent thing is it adds in Cammy, and it adds in an Akuma mode where you can fight Shin Akuma straight on without having to go through the thing. I will talk about what games included Alpha 2 Gold later. Yeah, S tier. I mean not S tier, A tier. Yeah, this is good as Alpha 2. If the only problem is it's Alpha 2 Gold is tethered to these fucking weird Street Fighter collections, so there's no easy way to really play it by itself standalone. Okay, and we have Street Fighter Alpha 3. Oh my god, man. This bias here, but I think Alpha 3 might be my favorite Street Fighter. It may very well be my favorite Street Fighter. Everything down from the announcer to the roster and how it plays, the stages, the music. I just fucking love it. It's a fucking solid ass game. A-ism, B-ism, X-ism, you know. A-ism's like your basic bitch, 3-level super bar. A-ism is like just the simple single bar, kind of like super turbo. And then, actually that's not X-ism. X-ism is like very fucking boss bison. B-ism does custom combos, and I've never really fucked around with that, because, I mean, it's good, it has its uses, but I'd just rather just give me a basic bitch, 3-level super bar, and I'm good. Yeah, 3 guesses of where this shit is going. Actually, you know what? A tier. And here's why this is gonna be A tier, because Alpha 3 Max is going straight up the fucking S tier. This is the definitive edition of Street Fighter Alpha 3. And while I'm at it, I'm going to put this B tier. Okay, so not only does Alpha 3 Max have everything from Street Fighter Alpha 3, the arcade version. It has everything from the home versions, you know, the Dreamcast port and the PlayStation 1 port. So it's got the extra characters. So Guile is in there, Fei Long, DJ, T-Hawk, you know, the World Warriors. Not the World Warriors, but the new challengers, they're in there. I think Evil Ryu, Balrog's back in it, so the roster is beefed up completely. World Tour mode, the characters that they added from Alpha 3, the Game Boy version, Maki, Yoon, fucking Eagle, like those guys are in there, and plus fucking Ingrid, she's in there, but who gives a fuck? It is the best version of Street Fighter Alpha 3 in my opinion. Unfortunately, it is locked to the PSP, and Capcom ain't gonna bring that shit off of there. So get a PSP and have yourself a good ass time. Which now brings me to I probably should have did this beforehand. Street Fighter Alpha 2 for the fucking Super Nintendo. It's not a bad game, and it's a miracle that it's on the SNES. The only reason why this is on this fucking tier list is because they managed to make it work. It loads.
Ready? Round 1, fight!
It loads like a bitch, but it fucking works. Yeah, C tier is, if it loaded up better, it would be bumped up to A. Yeah, it's just fucking load times, man, but it props for actually getting it to be playable. Okay, and what we got next? Alpha Anthology. Okay, so this one's a doozy because there's a lot of shit in here. So not only do they add dramatic battle mode on every single regular Alpha game, but you got a color edit. Cammy is automatically playable in Street Fighter Alpha 2 Gold. Oh yeah, also Anthology has a playable version of Alpha 2 Gold in it. So there you go. And then you have an awesome version of Hyper Street Fighter Alpha. That's basically like the hyper version of like Hyper Street Fighter 2, where you can choose the different modes of characters. Like, say you get fucking Guile, you can choose between Vanilla Guile from Street Fighter 2, Champion Edition Guile, Turbo Guile, Super Guile, and Super Turbo Guile for all characters. You know, whatever version they were in, if they were in that, they will have a mode select for that shit. They did the same thing with Alpha, so you can choose between different versions of Ryu. You can be Alpha 1 Ryu, 2 Gold Ryu, or Alpha 3 is pretty fucking cool. I A tier that because it is a collection, so it's an aggregate of all the games, but I feel like it adds a lot of shit to it to make it worthwhile. Yeah, definitely worth a play if you can get that going. Okay, yeah, since we're doing collections, Street Fighter collection, it has Alpha 2 Gold in there, and I can't remember what other Street Fighter game is on there, but it's got Alpha 2 Gold, so for a while that was the only way you could play Alpha 2 Gold until the Alpha Anthology came out. So yeah, be a this is fucking PS1 loading. Yeah, B tier. Yeah. Okay, that brings me to this bad boy. So this one has Street Fighter Third Strike and Hyper Street Fighter 2. So, you know, the mode select, all that shit's in there. I mean, it's a fucking good version of Street Fighter 2. Let's make that a damn A tier. Maybe. Yeah, A tier. Okay, what next? Well, let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. EX and EX2 are going to be unranked because those are the only like Street Fighter games that I have not played. So if I haven't played it, I can't really rank it, and that's why I have the unranked button for those two. But Street Fighter EX3, that is a different beast. I have played that. Yeah, man, it's got some cool ideas, but there is some jank, and from what I've read, of the three games, Street Fighter EX2 plays the best. Also, it just fucking controls weird. There's, like I said, cool stuff, but compared to everything else, that's gotta be a D. And let's just move on to Street Fighter 3. Got New Generation right here. Of the three, I don't know which one's the least talked about. This one or Second Impact. Finally, after years of like putting out Street Fighter 2 and then doing Alpha, you know, doing the prequel, they actually do 3, and the fucking arcade cabinet on this thing is awesome because the top of it just says 3. So that's a fucking big deal. It's like, yeah, we're finally doing it, bitch. But yeah, it's just overshadowed by Third Strike. I mean, it does have some cool things going for it. You know, parries and shit. Yes, it's a B, because, like, the other games just kind of improve upon it. You got fucking Second Impact, if I can find it. So Second Impact adds Hugo, it adds Urien, which I thought Urien was in that shit from the beginning. Also thought Hugo was in that shit from the beginning. Akuma, he's also added to it and got EX specials. Sean is a beast in this one, which is a shame because he gets nerfed the fuck out in Third Strike. Yeah, this one's a B. It's just, you know, Third Strike, man. And there are some pretty nice aesthetics, good music, but yeah, it's just fucking Third Strike, dude. And while we're at it, we're gonna put Double Impact right there. The only reason why I have Double Impact on this list is because, like, for about 19 years since it came out, this was the only way you could play New Generation Second Impact at home. You know, that was the only home version available until the 30th anniversary came out. So yeah, that's a B tier just because it was the only way you could play that shit. Now we have, where is it? I'm pretty sure I just saw it. Third Strike. God, what? Oh, whoa, what in the world? Oh, thank God. Okay, where's Third Strike? Oh, okay, Third Strike. Yeah, I mean, it's the legend. It was holding down, you know, fighting, 2D fighting, well, I don't say holding down fighting games, but it was holding Street Fighter down, you know, for years and years until they finally decided to make Street Fighter 3. So many classic characters got added to it. You got fucking Chun-Li returns, Makoto, Q, 12, Remy, then of course, you know, Evo Moment 37. It is probably one of the best balanced games out here. And it's not perfect, but it's pretty damn good, and there's still, you know, legs. It still has legs after all these years. Yeah, fuck it. Like, I like Alpha 3 better, but I recognize the greatness of Third Strike. I didn't play it, you know, whenever that first time playing it was actually in the anniversary collection, like back in high school, like fucking ever ago, and I really enjoyed it. And so then eventually I played it on played online edition, and I have it on fucking 30th anniversary collection. Yeah, just fucking Third Strike, man. What am I gonna say? Now we're going on to Street Fighter 4. Oh man, I can remember how this goes. I bought an Xbox 360 just because it was the cheapest way that I would be able to play Street Fighter 4. That was the thing that made me decide to buy an Xbox 360. Because it was cheaper than a PS3 at the time, and I just wanted to play that game. I even got the fucking collector's edition. In fact, I think it came with like a shitty little Crimson Viper figure. Yep. Here it is. I blow the dust off this bitch. But yeah, it came with like a Crimson Viper toy, and some other shit I can't remember. But yeah, man, I was really excited for that. I put in a lot of time into it. There, you know, was some bustedness. Ken and Sagat were basically running roughshod on motherfuckers online. Other than that, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fucking fun. I was ready for it. But you know, this is one of those things where the way Capcom is and how they do Street Fighter, it's just the newer versions of this are vastly improved. Where did I? Oh no, it's not going to F. You are B. Yeah, you're a B. Okay, that brings us to Super Street Fighter 4. You got Cody, Adon, Guy, Hakan, DJ, Makoto, Dudley, Boogie, Jerry, T-Hawk, and you got a second Ultra combo. Of course, all the balance changes that come with it. The full disclosure, I did not play this one. So this is going here, and the reason why I didn't play this one because I felt that there was going to be another version, and I was right, and that ended up being Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition. I had a good time with it. All the bells and whistles, all the DLC and shit from the yeah, all the DLC and shit from the previous game was in there, costumes, all that shit. I skipped Super because I just had a feeling there was another one, and I was correct. I did not put as much time into it as Vanilla 4, but I still enjoyed it. Yeah, it's B for me. And then we got Ultra. I can't remember when I got Ultra. I think it might have got put on sale during fucking on PSN on sale at some point, but I got it then. Yeah, this is an A tier for me. So all the gameplay of 4, you know, focus attacks and all that, your ultra combos, but they also add all the characters from Super Arcade, which, you know, Yang Yun, Evil Reeve, and Oni, on top of, you know, the people that they ported over from fucking Cross Tekken, Rolento, Elena, Poison, Hugo, and of course, fucking the Capri. I mean, I don't know. I felt like they could have done. Yeah, we don't need to have that conversation now. Then you got, you know, your 2 ultra combos. You can get them both at the cost of damage. They're not going to be as damaging if you just got one by itself. And you got the fun little Omega mode, which is kind of a callback to Rainbow Edition, but not as busted, but still definitely not tournament legal. It's a fun ass package. It's the definitive edition of Street Fighter 4. You know, what can you say? Oh, I forgot one. Street Fighter, Super Street Fighter 3D Edition. I actually got this like, I think a year ago. I played it. Yeah, it's portable Street Fighter 4. But the 3D, meh. Yes, it's a fucking C. Like Street Fighter 3D, Street Fighter on the go. If you want to play Street Fighter 4 on the go, I don't think there's any other handheld versions of it. I don't think they put anything on Vita. I might be wrong. But yeah, it's just you'd rather be playing fucking Street Fighter 4. Yeah. And that brings us to. Let's get this out of the way before I jump into 5. Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Edition. This is a weird collection because, yeah, it has OG Street Fighter, every version of Street Fighter 2, including Super Turbo, all 3 alphas. Unfortunately, no Alpha 2 Gold or Alpha 3 Upper. I doubt they were going to put Max in there. And then you got all 3 versions of Street Fighter 3, you know, New Generation, Second Impact, and Third Strike. These are arcade perfect ports of like the first versions, which there's never been like an arcade, like straight up arcade perfect port of any of these games on any system. So that's definitely worth noting. They're the first versions of these arcade ports though, because with the arcades, eventually they would do upgrades and tweaks to them, and they would just switch out the switchboards to upgrade it. So that any improvements that were made in later versions, you're not going to get those, which I felt it would have been cool if you had multiple versions of it that you could switch between, or at least you could kind of fuck around with the dip switches. I thought that would have been interesting if they added that to it. Another weird thing is that there's online for only Hyper Fighting, Super Turbo, Alpha 3, and Third Strike. There's no online for any of the other Street Fighter games, so if you want to go online and fight people on New Generation or God forbid fucking Street Fighter 1, you know, go fuck yourself. You're only getting those 4. So yeah, it does some really cool things, but it also does some things that are weird. I'm gonna say C, just because I felt like they could have done more with it than what they did. Yeah. Still definitely worth it if you're a Street Fighter fan or you're a fighting game fan, but yeah, it doesn't really do nothing for me. At least compared to what else is on there. And last, we have Street Fighter 5. Oh god, man. Yeah, they kind of shit the bed on releasing it in the state that it was in. It eventually got better, but like no arcade mode in there, fucking fight money and all that stuff, and just esports. It was rough, and it was bare bones, and they shouldn't have charged like $60 for what they fucking put into it. It was just really lazy. But I mean, I enjoyed what I played, but it could have been done better. It's fucking C. It's fucking C. Okay, and now we have our boy Street Fighter 5 Arcade, which adds a fucking arcade ladder. I think all the characters from the first 2 seasons in it, and second V-Trigger, and all the balance changes that go with it. So it's marginally improved. The fight money system is still kind of bullshit. Yeah, it's definitely better than fucking the Vanilla 5. Yeah, this is, yeah. And last we got Champion Edition. Champion Edition is weird because development is not finished on it yet. There's a 3rd season, as y'all know. A bunch of characters on the way. Dan, Oro, Rose, Akira from fucking Rival School, so Capcom acknowledges Rival School, so that is awesome. And then some last mystery character, but so far, oh yeah, of course, I forgot about Gil and Seth. I guess you would count them in that Fighter's Pass. And then they add all the characters and costumes from the previous, you know, DLCs and all that, so that's in there. But because it is not complete and they're still putting shit in there, I'm just gonna put that as unranked because I have played it. It is definitely the best version of 5 that's out there, but it's not complete, and I don't want to rank it until it's complete. But if there was a rank for it, I'll at least say it's A tier. It's at least A tier, but until the other shit comes out, unranked but possibly A tier. Is there a way I can? No, I cannot. And then that is just something I have there for reference. So yeah, this is my tier list. It's a lot of B's in there. I didn't expect the B's to be as crowded as it was. The only absolute stinker in there is OG Street Fighter 1. There aren't a lot of horrible games in the Street Fighter franchise. It seems like the vast majority of them is at least above average, and you know, the major missteps are few and far between. Yeah, so that's my list on Street Fighter, the Street Fighter series. I'm not like a Street Fighter lord. I'm not the arbiter of the series. This is just my opinion. You're probably gonna have a different opinion from mine. You know, if we differ, it's cool. You know, interesting conversations can be had from that shit. But that's pretty much all I have to say. That's my fucking tier list for Street Fighter. I hope you enjoyed it, because I had fun making it. Later.